is nerve-wracking. I wrote 7 speeches before I came to this one, okay? So, there I go with the right? Have you ever had a person walk into a room? Room became quiet, and you knew immediately that not only your consciousness, but the consciousness of everyone in that room had been raised. This happened to me December the 4th, 1991, at the Gift of Peace. That's the subject of mine, okay? Now, the Gift of Peace is a house in Washington, D.C. that belonged to Mother Teresa. I worked there for 7 years. When she walked into the room that morning, I had brought 2 books along with me that morning that I knew she was coming. And I thought, oh, I'll have Mother sign these for me. And when she walked up to my desk and touched my hand, which was laying on the books, how could I possibly ask this woman to do such a trite thing? But she did make a difference in my life. And she made a difference in so many people's lives. At this time, there were very few women coming into most of the orders within the Catholic Church. But within Mother Teresa's order, which was called the Missionaries of Charity, many women who were lawyers, doctors, nurses, were coming into this order. And just the other day, I received a letter from a person, and they were telling me that like 25 women were professing in San Francisco. What made Mother Teresa different from other people? What made her the person that won the Nobel Peace Prize? Why did she win the Nobel Peace Prize? She was compassionate. She wanted peace throughout the world. She brought peace within this house. Now let me tell you about her houses. All of her houses throughout the world are called houses of peace, love. I visited the House of Love in Delhi in India. Now that was a place where children who'd been found in garbage cans and so forth had come there to live. And I can remember those children running up to me and pulling on my dress and saying, Jack and Jill went up the hill. They had all the nursery rhymes, and they were happy. Now that was the thing about this place, the Gift of Peace. On the first floor, there were women from the streets, and one woman who was dying with AIDS. On the main floor, there were a group of men, all street people, who could no longer cope with the real world. But on the 3rd floor were all the men who were in their final stages of AIDS. Now, this was a period in time when we really didn't know a lot about AIDS. Everyone was afraid to be around the people with AIDS, but not these women, and not the volunteers. I can't remember how I even came to be there. I think I spoke with someone who was just such a joyful person, and she was talking about Mother Teresa, and maybe I decided to go there and see if I could help, because I wanted to meet Mother Teresa. But when I got there, it was the most incredible period in my life. This is a group of the nuns that I came to know very well, and they asked me to take them to my farm one day because they'd never picked apples. Now, many of these women were from India. A lot of them had been Hindus who had become Christians. They have 2 saris, and many days you can look out the window at the Gift of Peace or any of their homes. And in fact, there are pictures in some of the books that I've seen that show their saris blowing in the breeze, because they only have 2. So they wash one by hand, they hang it out on the line, and here are all these flags blowing back and forth. 2 saris, 1 carpet bag, very small, and this is where all of their possessions are housed whenever they travel. think that new volunteers that came to the Gift of Peace to work were given chores to see if they had stick-to-itiveness. My first job, I think, was mopping floors, cleaning toilets. But by the time Mother Teresa came to the house, I'd been promoted. I was on the phone, and I also was answering the door. But when Mother Teresa came to town, all the dignitaries in town were calling, and people were knocking on the doors. The White House was calling, and I had to decipher these calls and find out who was at the door and why. She had a very convincing manner about her. Once when she was at the house, she had a visit with Hillary Clinton. Now, she and Hillary Clinton differed completely on many matters, especially unborn children. But after speaking with Mother Teresa, Hillary helped open a house for unwed mothers. Now, I invite you to ask yourself, how have I brought greater peace into a situation or a relationship in my life or in the life of someone else? She won the Nobel Peace Prize because she gave to others. She stood for peace. She embodied compassion. She taught many things, but these are the things that I find most important. She said, you do everything in your life, every chore, everything you do it with joy. Above all, do everything with love. Everyone has something to give. It's not so much what we do, but how much love we put into what we are doing. Remember, we are all here to help others because we are all connected. Now, just for 1 second, could you close your eyes? Ask yourself, how have I brought greater peace into a situation or a relationship in my life?